The Mandalorian and Grogu. I just came back from a midnight screening. I shit you not, it's nearly 3 a.m. So I'll be trying to give my thoughts of the movie as quickly as I can possibly can, and then go to bed. So The Mandalorian and Grogu, the first Star Wars movie since The Rise of Skywalker way back in 2019. We're in 2026, so it's been like 6 to 7 years since the last Star Wars movie. A lot of people are excited, Star Wars back on the big screen, and but it's a little bit confusion because the first choice of Star Wars in the movie theaters is a extension of a TV show. So the question is, why are you doing it? It has to be something here. Maybe there's a cool story that they couldn't tell in the TV show format, so they decided to make it a movie instead. And I'm like, okay, cool, awesome, great. Let's check this out, right? Let me check this out at midnight, right? And I watched it, and I'm like, this movie feels like an episode of the show. And I think what merely does it is the limitation of the stagecraft technology, and how it just makes everything like just drains any sort of life in a movie. If you just want to use it once in a while, fine, cool. But if you want us to be invested in a world, and want us to feel this world and make it feel us what we're looking at, and we feel like we could smell it and all that type of stuff, stagecraft is not the way to go. Because there's moments in the trailer that showcase it, but Mando's in the city, and there's a simple scene of him walking across the street, but the environments look like they're on a soundstage. It looks like Mando's behind a massive TV screen. It doesn't. There's no textile element to it. Everything looks very flat. And it kind of drains the movie away. I mean, and which also caters the action sequences, because the action, look, there's a lot of action in the movie, but none of it is really standing out. There's no oh my god, there's that one that is really cool and really awesome, because a majority of it, because once again the limitations of the technology of stagecraft, it's a majority just wide. It's wide with shootouts and fistfights and super close-ups, and you're just like, this is like cutting corners at this point, and it just doesn't have that cinematic feel. Because the thing is with movies that are basically doing a movie that is basically a 2-hour extension episode of a TV show, you kind of want to tell the audience, hey, this is why we're doing it. Look at what we can do with a movie budget, right? Stuff that, we couldn't do on a TV show. And they don't do it. They don't do anything special. The only thing that is special is maybe that they can have a CGI character more than, I don't know, 30 seconds. I don't know. Maybe that's a situation there. You could have Jabba the Hutt's son, who's actually a good character. There's certain things in this movie I do like. I mean, there's two things that really stand out to me, and that is, there's a part in the movie about roughly in the third act of the film, is when Grogu has to be independent without hitting spoilers and all that kind of stuff, but Grogu has to be very independent, and that was quite interesting to watch and see how he handles things. And the other thing is dealing with Jabba the Hutt's son, because the whole movie, or at least a good chunk of the movie, is all about Mando and Grogu having to collect and rescue the son of Jabba the Hutt, so he could sit on his his family's throne, because his family is very um worried and cares for him and want him to bring they want Mando and Grogu to bring him to safety. And the categorization of the son is just really well put together on the concept of, you know who your parents were, you knew who your dad was, and you know what baggage that comes along and how you don't want to be that, and want to live your own life and make your own choices and not things being handwritten for you. And like I was like, this is good stuff, this is a good written stuff, if this is a really good characterization going on here. But the rest of it, it's just meh, really. But again, action not so special, the environments ain't that so special. Sometimes, like, the CGI on the creatures ain't that great. I mean, with the Miles Sazy's character, his character has like I don't know, like 8 hands or something. So his hands is always moving around. And I'm like, it just doesn't look as good and polished. I feel like that character could have easily be one coat of paint of polishing, um, to go with that. Um, the villains ain't that interesting. They're flat. You see in the trailers about this bounty hunter guy, and he does bug all. He has no character. Um, and the actual villains are very typical, standard evil. Evil for evil's sake. Like, where does evil characters, So there's not much depth towards that. It's just a situation where it's just like, it's not bad, it's not good, it's just meh. It's just nothing really hooking you in to be invested in this story. And it's like, look, I mean, it's safe to assume that we all are pointing up. We were all looking forward to Starfire more than Mandalorian Grogu, but we wanted Mandalorian Grogu to have a fair shake, and we saw it. I saw it, and I thought it was okay, nothing special, nothing that hooks me in to want me to watch this movie again, and hook me into the story, um, and that I think there's a little bit of stop motion. I think which that was kind of cool to see a little bit. But yeah, I guess some people think it's a fun adventure, but it's just I felt like they need a little bit more to have this movie be in theaters. You need an extra hook. You can't just be like, here's a 2 hour episode of a show. I just think you need to be a little bit, need to up it a bit more. But yeah, anyway, if you've seen the movie, comment below, let me know your thoughts. And right now, and after I press record and upload this video, bedtime. Because right now it is 7 past 3 a.m. Anyway, comment below, let me know your thoughts on the movie.